audience. So we have a
live studio audience.
What is that guy that does the focus groups on Frank Luntz?
Oh, we're live.
So you
Frank,
should
we are
go,
live.
Well, good morning.
Live from currently Jacksonville, Florida. My name is Jeff Wheeler with a live studio audience of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, many individuals. There was clapping in the background. You probably heard that. But we're not the only people who are watching. Let me tell you, our other co-hosts this morning who are watching, who are going to be talking, who are going to be imparting knowledge upon us. Let me start all the way to my left, Frank Heathington in illustrious Johns Creek, Georgia. Say good morning, Frank.
Why am I always to your left?
I don't know.
Can I be to your right?
Well, I generally pass the duchy upon the left-hand side, so that's therefore why you were there.
Okay.
The duchy, which of course is a cooking pot. If you are curious what the passing of the duchy, it generally is passing the cooking pot. It's an African cooking pot. So then speaking from the center, I will say, is Michelle Lynch. Say good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, everyone from Gainesville, Florida.
And in spirit but not in person is Thom. He is in Belize and is having internet connection. So if anyone who watches this show is good at the internet, they should look for a connection to Belize, improve it so that my friend Thom and your favorite co-host Thom could be a part of this group.
Yeah, thanks John McAfee for screwing that up on us.
Yeah, thanks. Is that like thanks Obama, but thanks John McAfee? Is that like John McEnroe at all? So in any case, we've got many pieces of meat here for you, but we're going to pound right through it.
I didn't know what today was St. Patrick's Day.
Is that a joke?
St. Patrick's Day is not till Tuesday. You still have time to get in your green beer and everything else green.
Tuesday, we will be having St. Patrick's Day. Gloriously, I will be traveling Tuesday night, so I will not be able to impart upon the craziness that is St. Patrick's Day this year. But
have you ever been to Savannah for St. Patrick's Day, Jeff?
I have heard of it, but I have not been there for the
I've never been there either.
Have you ever been?
No.
I don't know. Apparently, we should go. We should do a show from there one day.
Maybe.
So we know that that New Orleans is the place for Mardi Gras, right?
Right.
Where's the place for St. Patrick's Day? Where's the place to be?
Chicago.
Boston, because it's got a lot of Catholics, right, or something like that. Because
well, it's Catholics and it's Irish. So wherever you can find lots of Irish and lots of Catholics, you're going to find a big St. Patty's Day celebration. Although St. Patrick's Day is not a big deal over in Ireland.
True.
It's American Irish that have made St. Patrick's Day a deal.
It's
like to find
just another
Buddhist
saint.
Irish.
Just another saint. I would like to give a shout out to Boston for allowing out vets in their parade this year. They have not previously allowed any sort of LGBT groups in the parade, but this year they have a new chairperson, and that person is saying, "Come on, welcome."
Oh, the times they are a-changing.
Oh, the times they are a-changing.
Times they are a-changing. And speaking of times they are a-changing, there's currently a bill in the Senate to lift the federal injunction, the federal outlawing of marijuana across these United States, and leaving that to the states. Not saying that it's legal, they are just taking it out of the realm of a federal mandate. So I don't know too many details on where it is. I just know that there's one that exists. And that then, because it exists, to me proves the times they are a-changing.
They are a-changing. That could possibly mean that we will not get federal agents crawling into and going into pre-established businesses.
Right.
Correct?
Okay. Right.
So you have a speakeasy, right, for Prohibition, where they were basically doing illicit alcohol selling.
Yes.
So what is that with is it like a hot box? Is that what that is for marijuana?
Oh,
I think you just coined the term there, Frank. You heard it here on Speaker's Corner.
God Lord. So also happening is the March equinox. What is the March equinox is all about?
That is a credit agency.
No, that is Equifax.
Damn.
Oh yes. The March equinox. It comes twice a year. The equinox.
Right.
It has to deal with nature.
Wobbling of the earth.
No, the equinox, there is a winter equinox. Well, I guess there's a solstice, summer solstice and winter solstice. And then I guess there's the spring equinox and the fall equinox, where the days and nights are exactly the same.
Oh, is that what it means?
Yeah, the equinox is when the days and nights are exactly the same length.
I thought that had to do with the way the axis was tilted. So it's like tilted at 23.5 degrees, and then it actually goes to 0 and then goes back again to the
I
other
think you're saying about the same thing, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those coincide because they're related. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Do your own research, though, out there. Don't believe everything you hear here.
Not everything. You shouldn't believe anything you hear here. Corroborated by things
The Coriolis effect is 0 today.
So the Coriolis, is that like Corey? Is that one of the Coreys from the 80s?
Corey Feldman.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. We've got Corey Feldman, Corey, what's the other guy's name? Corey Feldman and Corey...
I have a random aside for you, and I don't know why Corey Feldman popped in my head, but did you see that Pharrell is getting charged, and Alan Thicke, they're getting charged $7 million for infringing on the Blurred Lines song? It was like almost
from who? Who wrote
6.3.
that originally?
It was too closely similar to a Marvin Gaye song, so I guess the estate of Marvin Gaye, they went ahead and they put him to court, and the court ruled that it was copyright infringement, and so now they have to pay back almost $7 million and cease and desist in any sending out of that song.
Jeez.
Rightfully so, because that song sucks. I hate Blurred Lines. I hate it when that comes on the radio. I like Happy. Happy's a good song. I danced to that on my Wii U.
You prefer Everything Is Awesome, though. I really like, Frank, by the way, how transparent the temple is on the left-hand or right-hand side of your glasses.
Yeah, I'm doing a new style. It's going to be in fashion probably in Milan next week.
Got it.
So I'm a little fashion sense. So what happened? Do you know anything about Fashion Week, Jeff? Did you hear what happened in Fashion Week?
I do not follow Fashion Week.
One of your favorite movies of all time is going to have a sequel.
Oh, yeah?
I couldn't believe this when I heard this. Zoolander.
Oh, right, I heard about this. Zoolander is going to do Zoolander 2. And so the way I found out about this was the Twitters, right? And there was a Vine on Twitter where, what's the brunette guy that does it?
Ben Stiller?
Yeah, Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller's walking up and down the runway of Fashion Week. Oh, no, it was on Snapchat. Snapchat was doing a promotion of it, right? And the guy and Ben Stiller walks down the aisle. Somebody's doing a Snapchat of him coming. He physically grabs the camera out of the person's hand that's in the audience and turns it around to do a selfie, and then continues to walk down the aisle.
That was amazing.
Yes. So that just proves again now that Snapchat is getting advertising that is specifically focused for its venue and for its form factor, which no other resource, no other form has gotten since TV started doing its commercials.
Jeff, all right, Snapchat, right? Don't those disappear?
Yes.
So how do you even market something like that?
Because it's a promoted thing, so it doesn't disappear for a certain amount of time, but it's there for 2 days or something like that anybody can watch it. And it gets promulgated to everybody who uses the service. And that's how Snapchat's
So
making
it's kind of like on Instagram when you do a hashtag, but it stays up for a certain amount of time. And
Nope. It just goes into your feed. You know how
okay.
Instagram has things pop up into your feed that aren't really things that you did or planned? But that's what's going on with the...
Gotcha.
With the
By
Snapchats.
the way, a shout out to...
Right, and the shell is showing.
Oh, that's interesting.
Only the diehards ski today.
And that's what you see. But only the diehards ski today is what he said. But I don't know. I didn't actually see it, Jeff.
You should have.
I feel like how
I'm sure it's
could I ever
promulgated
know?
in other venues.
Okay.
So look it up on your own to find out what it is that's going on with that. But I believe you will find it to be hilarious.
Oh my God! There's this.
Hilarious.
There's this minister in Atlanta, and I don't know if you saw this or not, Jeff, but he wants his congregation to pay for his private jet, about $60 million for this private
Who is
jet.
this?
The preacher's last name is Dollar. It's one of those huge mega churches in the Atlanta area.
No, really? Are you serious? His last name's Dollar?
His last, I cannot make this up. His last name is Dollar.
So are they praying to the almighty dollar? Is that what it is? Oh, God, so many jokes. They're everywhere.
I know, it's
even
just
know.
so much.
I don't even know.
I need boots to just wade through all of the ridiculousness.
Oh, my God. I wonder if he changed his name or if it was actually that's what he was born with. Man, I want him to have
Or
changed
does he
his name.
misspell dollar and not have it spelled like the U.S. dollar?
Well, the reason I brought that up is I wanted to kind of ask you guys.
D-A-L-L-A-R, dollar.
Since
man.
the reason I saw that, right, I saw that on my Facebook stream, and I'm wondering if this is just me since Facebook has become, a publicly traded company with all their advertising and stuff, and how the metrics they have behind you and your tendencies and what you tend to click on and whatever.
Mm-hmm. And they know you like things like that.
Apparently I like large Pentecostal black churches and NFL and college basketball, and
that's all pretty accurate.
I have no idea.
Didn't they kind of nail you on all that?
But do you guys have like strange things that come onto your feed and you're like, what the fuck?
Yes. I need like an upvote downvote moment so that I can get rid of the things that I don't want to watch and try and find things that Facebook just quiets from me.
But I'm cool with like the whole the BOGO from Publix things that come up. I'm cool with that because it's always got a picture of food or whatever.
Okay, guys, I'm going to have to interject here. I think that this is a user error. I don't think you guys interact with your advertising enough. And if you interacted more with your advertising, it would then give you back more targeted content.
Okay, Michelle, how often do you interact with your advertising on your feeds? Really, is that something you do? I'm sure you clickbait.
I do.
Is that a thing?
Do you really?
You can give feedback that says, I don't like this advertisement, it's not relevant to me, and then it'll stop coming up.
Why do I have to go through that extra effort?
Because you want relevant advertising. That's the joke. People don't understand. You really do want advertising.
I do not want advertising.
The world before advertising wasn't as
free.
Choice-filled.
It wasn't as free.
All right, that's for another. We will have to argue that on another podcast for sure.
Yes.
So we have our random country of our day, and in honor of Thom, it will be Belize. And
it's not very random.
And Belize has been independent since 1981, and it's part of the Commonwealth of countries from the British Empire.
Yes.
And they have lots of good seafood.
Did you know that over 2 billion people speak English as their second language?
And the Belizean dollar is pegged to the U.S. dollar.
So, question for the room. What is the country with the largest Muslim population?
The country with the largest Muslim population?
Yes.
Indonesia.
Nicely done, Frank.
Somewhere
Nicely
in that
done.
area,
First guess.
Well done, Frank.
First guess. You got applause from the audience in the back.
Well, honestly, the only reason I know that is because I remember in college how your dad went over there and you went with him, and
yes,
Indonesia. That's the only reason. So, studio audience, thank you for helping me remember that today.
Years later, the impact.
You see the impact you've had on my life.
That's right. That's right. So here's the next one from the studio audience. Next quiz question: what city in our fair world has the highest Japanese population, the highest expatriate Japanese population outside of Japan?
Somewhere in Hawaii?
Hawaii is not correct.
Damn. Well, it's not a city.
Yes.
I'm going to say Vancouver, British Columbia.
Vancouver, British Columbia is not correct. Continue.
Vancouver. That's
San
fascinating.
Francisco, California.
Yeah, California, somewhere in California.
San Francisco is a good guess as well, but not correct.
Los Angeles.
Not correct either at Los
Sioux
Angeles.
Falls, Idaho.
Sioux Falls, Idaho is correct. I can't believe that. That's not correct at all. Not even close to correct.
I wanted that to be correct. What is the correct answer?
But it starts with the correct letter. So it starts with the letter S.
Yes.
Singapore.
Not it. Not it.
It's not San Fran.
What hemisphere is the city in?
It is in the it's in the Americas.
I stumped the question giver.
It is in the Americas.
It is in
It's
the
in
Americas.
the Americas.
Oh God.
Oh man, and an S. So it doesn't seem to be something that's close to Japan.
Is it in the United States?
It is not in the United States.
Oh, Canada then maybe.
I don't.
Canada? No. It is not
No?
in Canada.
I only know one city that begins in S in Canada, and that is Saskatoon, and I doubt it's that.
That's a spoon. I do not think that is a good guess.
But that wasn't my guess. I was okay. I get 2 more guesses, and then you have
Two
to
more
give me-
guesses.
Both
Okay,
of
2
us
more
get
guesses.
2 more guesses.
Okay, go.
God, a country that begins with S, or a city that begins in S, and you said it's in the Americas.
It is in the Americas.
San Juan.
San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Salto Palto?
Santiago, Chile.
Santiago, Chile is also not a terrible guess, but that is incorrect.
I give
Those
up.
are my 2.
Okay, do you give up, Michelle?
I do.
Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo. Oh,
Did
wow.
I
not just say that?
No, you said Santa Maria or something dumb.
That's what I meant. So
Okay,
that's in
okay.
Brazil, right? Is that where that city
Sao
is?
Paulo, Brazil. Sao Paulo,
Okay.
Brazil.
I have not been there. I don't think I want to go
Any
there.
wagers or guesses as to why there is such a large population?
I have no data to that. I have no data.
Wow. Oh, next week we'll come back and let y'all know more
right.
about why
And
there
if
are.
you know about it, feel free to chime in next week and hang out.
It's because they have a lot of kimchi fields there.
Kimchi fields, because Japanese people eat kimchi?
Yes.
Indeed.
Right, that's not accurate at all, people.
I know.
That's not accurate at all.
Don't believe
I'm just
everything
gonna
you
tell
hear.
That, did you know that the Chinese fortune cookies are actually a Japanese treat?
I thought they were an American invention.
They were an American invention from a Japanese treat.
Oh, I love it.
I think you need to put the reins on your studio audience. They're getting a little crazy
Right.
out there.
Yeah, they're getting a little
Getting a little crazy.
There's a
So
few things
let's
before we
go-
leave, though. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jeff, because I was going to go through and say Thom's Asshat, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to bring up your new spokesperson.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Clean and Clear, which is...
Face wash.
It's a face wash, but I forget who actually. I don't know if it's Johnson & Johnson or who. But Clean and Clear has a new spokesperson named Jazz Jennings, and Jazz Jennings is a transgender teen. And I think that I want to give kudos and thumbs up to Clean and Clear for taking that route and taking that. I'm sure it's a battle for them. They're going to take some hits for it as well as some kudos.
Well, everybody's human, so.
I feel like I've heard that name before.
Clean and Clear? Or
No, maybe I'm thinking of Chaz Bono.
kudos? Chaz Bono, which is
Yes.
hilarious in any way.
Chaz was on Time Magazine's 25 Most Influential Teenagers. That's a thing. I am doing nothing with my life.
Wait, what do you mean,
I'm
Jazz or
doing
Chaz?
this.
We're getting confused on our transgender.
Chaz, C-H-A-Z.
Okay, Chaz Bono was on. Wait a
No.
second. How is
No.
Chaz Bono was like 45 years old?
Jazz.
J-A-Z-Z.
Yes,
Jazz.
like the Transformer.
Right. Decepticon, I believe.
No, he's an Autobahn.
Oh, Autobot. Got it.
Autobot, dude. He's like, anyway, I thought he was Optimus Prime's second in command or his chief of staff or something like that.
So I got a little bit of warmth in my heart this week. I was listening to a podcast from Ira Glass on what is the one that he does?
Oh, Ira Glass. Yeah,
right? This American Life.
They did
This American Life.
Right. So he was doing a two-parter on policing in America and the trouble and difficulties that it is. Because they sat around and talked about how hard it is to deal with the Ferguson situation and how many real battles there are internally on how to do the right thing at the same time as provide for the correct, do the things that are going to help the area at the same time as be sensitive to history and how all of that works. And I guess my point is not to bring that up and have us talk about that, but I just want to see that there's faith that I have in the fact that our public discourse has moved to that, and at least we're able to have discourse about that in the public venue now. So once it's out and people are talking about it, no matter what the end result is, likely it will be better than it would be if nobody ever talked about it.
I think that's a fair assessment. I think that it's I don't want anyone to hide behind, oh, it's so difficult here, but I think that even them just saying it and talking about it, like you're saying, is actually it's beneficial to the conversation no matter what.
Bringing it up as a matter of discourse just makes it that much more likely to succeed.
Yeah, and then if that's the way you feel, let's talk about it. I mean, okay.
That's right.
Then we can actually set a reality that we can all believe in then, and that way everyone is on the same page, which it's part of what is not happening, I think, in a lot of places. The police force might be a little detached from the actual community.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was interesting. I believe it was the police chief is elected in Ferguson.
Okay.
And only 11%. He was elected based on 11% of turnout.
Well, that's pretty typical.
So, and this goes to something that Jeff and I firmly believe in. If you really, really want to change how your community is functioning, you really need to go for people that are in the school board or your city council,
yes,
judges, and those elections are the most important because they
count me in on that.
Truly affect you. Your property taxes, how the zoning works, how your streets are lined up, if you're going to have a bullshit
I would
sidewalk.
say if you're also interested, go and watch some C-SPAN. Watch some of your county and city meetings take place, so you can understand the background of who's in what corner and what everyone's trying to.
And one person in one of those meetings can make a grand influence on the actual decision. One person going up against the Senate has to have a lot of money behind them. But one person in a school board meeting can completely sway a room. Completely.
And
so
that can be...
know your power is in the small bites, and it's not trying to get something that's going to make it on ABC News, but rather something that is going to change the local landscape.
Yes.
So what do we have for an asshat this week?
An asshat, speaking of changing the local landscape or changing the foreign landscape, the asshat this week was phoned in by Thom, and it's Thom Cotton.
Ah. Thom Cotton, who I believe this week put together a letter to Iran with 46 other senators. He's a junior senator from Arkansas and a Tea Party darling. Got 46 other senators to sign on to a letter to Iran that basically went around the president's official stance for the United States to tell them some other garbage.
Well, it's more than that. I mean, the executive branch of the United States, and for all of our viewers in Albania, Siani, and the U.S. is basically broken down into three branches: the legislative, the judicial, and the executive branch. And the executive branch having the power of diplomacy and foreign policy. So what made the State Department and the White House in a tizzy was these senators. Yes, they can make the legislation once that treaty has been set up. The problem is the treaty hasn't been set up yet, and these have been negotiations that have been going on for several years. I think dating back to the Bush administration. And essentially, it's the right of Iran to have nuclear weapons, and so it's basically them putting the cart before the horse.
Right.
So yes, they can have sway on that. They are elected representatives, but the fact of the matter is, the president and the State Department and the executive branch sets up the United States foreign policy, and this dates back to something called the Logan Act, which is the most random thing I've ever heard of off CNN. Apparently, back when John Adams was president, which was the second president, he wanted to go to war with France. Well, there's basically some guy named John Logan, I don't even know his first name, but he was somewhere out of Philadelphia, went over to France, negotiated peace.
Dr. George Logan of
George from Pennsylvania, right? So he goes over there, negotiates peace, and pissed the whole administration off because they wanted to go to war and they wanted to basically make money because they're all capitalists. But they couldn't do it. And so they passed this law called the Logan Act, which basically says if you interfere with the decision-making of foreign policy of the United States, you can be labeled as treasonous or whatever.
Right, but it was not really against the law very harshly until 1994, when a violation of the Logan Act was made a felony.
But see, this kind of stuff has been going on forever. So right, Nixon did this with China back in the early 70s. Clinton did this with the Chinese that came in. They were selling secrets or whatever, the White House in the middle 90s. I mean, this has been going on. And it's always political. It's right. So if the Democrats were out of power and it was the Republican president, the Democrats would be crying wolf the same way. It's just political posturing at the end.
Yep. That's right.
Meanwhile, we still go round and round and round on the important thing, which is nuclear proliferation in the Middle East, which is very, very scary.
It is.
Which is for our show notes. You can read upon that with some great links and articles.
Yes, we love links and articles. Frank produced all of those.
I know.
I like the sticker that's still on your mug because you just haven't even decided to clean it ever.
Clearance.
Clearance
for clearance.
Clearance from
Clearance
Target.
for Clarence.
But anyway.
Well, we without Thom here, we can't really go too much longer. We don't have anything else to say.
I'm going to say this time next week is my favorite time of year. It is basketball tournament time, NCAA tournament time.
And look forward to talking to us next week, where we will discuss some tournament time. This is the only time I ever watch college basketball is during the tournament season.
Yes, you don't have to think like me.
But you don't even have to think like me. Frank?
Oh, I was waiting for Thom to say his part, and then I don't think.
And then go ahead, Frank.
I don't think.
Right, but we ask you here on your own time and of your own volition to think. And if you have thoughts you want to share, bring them to us and come hang out.